Dr. David Jockers, and today we're talking about 8 ways to reduce gas and farting. And so if you're out there, you've experienced gas. All of us pass gas on a regular basis. And for some of you guys, you have really suffered with the pain and the embarrassment of really bad or really stinky gas. I know I have, that's for sure. But on today's presentation, I'm going to go through 8 ways to reduce gas and farting. We're going to actually go through exactly what's causing that and the exact strategies to follow in order to overcome it. So if you don't know me, my name is Dr. David Jockers. I am a doctor of natural medicine. I speak all around the country on a wide variety of topics, including digestive health, brain health, metabolic health. I really have a specialty in helping people overcome digestive disorders and improving their energy. You can see my beautiful family, my wife Angel, my little boys David and Joshua there. And so let's look at farts, for example. And all of us, again, have passed gas on a regular basis. I know for myself, I suffered with irritable bowel syndrome in my early 20s and had just horrible gas that I was extremely embarrassed by. And I was also feeling bloated all the time. And so when we look at this, we know that gas is just naturally produced. In fact, the average individual passes gas 14 times a day. Most of it, 99% of the gas that we pass is odorless. We don't smell it. It's really only the 1% of farts that are really, really stinky. And for some people, they're having a lot more stinky farts than they really should. And so you can see about 60% of the gas that we pass is in the form of nitrogen, about 21% hydrogen, carbons making up about 9%, methane about 7%, oxygen about 3%, and then that other area that says other crap, that's typically sulfur, okay, is usually the big player in that. So, and that sulfur is really what's going to dictate the amount of sulfur that's going to be in our gas is going to dictate the smell, if it's something that we really smell poorly or don't smell. And so we look at the different types of farts. We've got the methanethiol, which is more of the cabbage, like rotted vegetable type smell. And that actually comes from the digestion of red meat. So it's kind of natural with the digestion of red meat. You'll notice that when you consume red meat on a regular basis. The really, really stinky fart is typically associated with the hydrogen sulfide. Now, the issue with the digestion of red meat is if we don't have enough stomach acid, I'm going to go through that in more detail, we'll notice a much stronger methanethiol smell. Now, the rotten egg smell, that also comes when we aren't breaking down protein well. Also on top of that, when we aren't metabolizing our carbohydrates well, we can develop this rotten egg smell, this hydrogen sulfide. And then we've got the dimethyl sulfide, which is more of a sweet smell that we'll start to notice, and it's less unpleasant than the other gases that we're passing. So let's go into 5 causes of farting. Number 1, low stomach acid. Number 2, constipation. Stomach acid is absolutely essential for starting the digestive process, metabolizing proteins effectively. It also helps stimulate the production of bile from our liver and our gallbladder, as well as pancreatic enzymes. If we don't produce enough stomach acid, we really don't move contents through our digestive tract very well. We end up with poor digestion. Oftentimes we can develop constipation. We also will often develop bacterial or microbial overgrowth in our gut and fermentation that leads to excessive gas production. So stomach acid has to be addressed. Constipation in general, usually constipation is associated with low stomach acid, but sometimes it can be independent of that. So we need to do things to help improve our bowel motility. We need to make sure we've got the proper microflora. If we have an overgrowth of bad bacteria, or if the bacteria is in the wrong place, if it's migrated up from the large intestine where it should be predominant into the small intestine, and we have something called small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, it's going to ferment. It's going to ferment foods quickly in the small intestine and produce a lot of gas. And so that's an issue. Yeast overgrowth, parasites can all cause problems with gas production. Gaseous odor buildup, just in general. And this kind of comes from, in a sense, just food that's not moving through our system very well. We can get just basically a buildup of gas, and then swallowing air. You know, I was always told growing up that all farts were the reason why people had farts and gas is because they were swallowing air. And there's definitely a place for that. We definitely want to make sure that we're eating more slowly and intentionally. And ideally, we're breathing out of our nose when we're eating. So that's just good genuine digestive hygiene, or you should say, just eating hygiene would be eating with, not without opening your mouth. So not trying to have a conversation while you're eating, and breathing through your nose. You're going to be able to stimulate more digestive juice production. When you do that, more bile, more stomach acid, more enzymes, you're going to metabolize your food more effectively. You're going to have less gas and farting. So 8 ways to reduce gas. Number 1, we need to eat slowly and intentionally. It's just like what I was saying, right? So slowly and intentionally, so we're not swallowing gas. On top of that, when we do that, when we breathe out of our nose and we're consuming food slowly, it gives time, and it sends a stimulus down to our stomach to produce stomach acid, our pancreas to produce pancreatic enzymes, our liver and gallbladder to produce and secrete bile. So that way we get good digestion that way. If we're inhaling things, okay, and I know for myself growing up, I was always inhaling things. And, even today, I have to watch myself because I have this natural tendency to just eat really fast. And that is the worst thing for our digestive tract. So we want to eat slowly and intentionally, drink more water between meals. So in order to keep things moving in our gut so they don't sit there, stagnate, and putrefy, we need to make sure we're staying well hydrated between meals. We want to use an elimination diet. We want to avoid things like gluten, pasteurized dairy, okay, corn, soy, peanuts. These are some of the major ones. For some people, eggs can cause a lot of issues. So you want to eliminate foods that your body is not responding well to. The main culprits, again, are gluten-containing foods. So breads, anything with wheat, barley, rye, oats, kamut, spelt. These things are all have gluten in them, so I would avoid those. And pasteurized dairy for sure. And then look at some of the other things in your diet to see if those are contributors. Support your stomach acid levels. Well, eating slowly and intentionally will help with that. But also, and I have a whole video that you can find all about supporting stomach acid. But basically, what do we want to do with that? We want to do things like ginger tea, which is really helpful. Fermented foods can be really helpful. Different carminative herbs, and you can see that in there. Carminatives are herbs that help to stimulate digestive juice production. So things like cinnamon, turmeric, ginger, basil, oregano, thyme, these things all help support stomach acid. So they're all really, really good. Apple cider vinegar, lemon or lime juice, or just fresh squeezed lemon or lime can be really, really helpful. You can also do stomach acid support supplements like betaine HCl, which can be really helpful. Digestive enzymes. So using digestive enzymes to help break down fibrous carbohydrates and different carbs. So from vegetables, if you're not digesting vegetables well, digestive enzymes come in really handy. Using probiotics, getting good bacteria and re-inoculating your system with the right types of microbes to help break down gas. The right types of microbes will actually help eat gas, and they'll actually produce B vitamins and organic acids and all kinds of good nutrients. Carminative herbs, we talked about these great herbs that are so helpful. And then using magnesium to help improve bowel tone. So magnesium can help with improving the overall muscle contractions in your intestines and move food through your system. So for many people that are dealing with really bad gas, they're also dealing with constipation. Magnesium can really help with that, as well as supporting the stomach acid, getting rid of bad foods like the elimination diet, probiotics, carminative herbs. All these things actually really help with overall good bowel tone. So we look at water. We know that the average infant is 70% water, average adult 60%, and then as we continue to age, we just dehydrate more and more. Most of us are chronically dehydrated, and all of us, no matter how much we drink, we're dehydrated at periods of time throughout the day. So it's always important that we are staying well hydrated, really, really focusing on hydration throughout the day, drinking a lot of good clean water. We want to, again, eliminate some of these major food allergens. The most common ones are your gluten-containing foods, pasteurized dairy. So I'm okay with raw grass-fed dairy. For most people, they do well with that, or like a grass-fed butter or ghee. Most people do well with that. Some people still struggle, but for most, they do well with that. But pasteurized dairy, really nobody does well with that. So avoid pasteurized dairy. You want to avoid soy. You want to avoid peanuts, corn. These are common things. Many people struggle with shellfish. That's why you see that in the picture. And others will often struggle with eggs. So be careful and watch out for that. If you're noticing the real sulfurous, the hydrogen sulfide, rotten egg smell when you fart, you may have issues with eggs. And that can be a common issue with that. So 5 steps of following an elimination diet So like, let's say you're thinking, okay, I might have an issue with eggs. And eggs are a really healthy food. We want to consume eggs. However, if your body's not responding well to it, you're not digesting it well, then you do want to avoid it. So what do? Okay, the first thing you would do is you would say, okay, I'm going to avoid eggs or anything with eggs in it. So you've got to read labels, because there's a lot of things out there on the market that you wouldn't naturally think had eggs in them, but they do. Use a food journal. So you come off of the food for at least a week. I'm more in favor of doing it like a month, like 30 days. Okay, use a food journal so you can kind of chart your progress. Are you feeling better? Is your skin better? Does your brain feel like it's functioning better? Your digestive tract, do you have more or less gas or the same? How's your bowel motility now that you've eliminated that food? So you kind of keep everything else the same, except you just eliminate this one food. In our example, it's eggs. And then after a month or a week, if you want to try it that way, again, I'm more of a fan of a month, but after that, you would go ahead and you would add back in eggs. You would have it for one day, okay? And then you would go ahead and take at least 2 to 3 days off from eating it. And you just chart how you feel over those next basically 3 to 4 days overall, the day you ate it, and then the 2 to 3 days afterwards. And you see how you feel. And did you have worse brain function? Did you notice your gas was worse? Did you notice that you were having poor bowel motility after that meal? Whatever it was, that's what you want to chart. You may feel great. You may have no issues that came back, or you may even feel better, and that's good to chart as well. Obviously, if you had bad symptoms after it came back, or unwanted, moderate to severe symptoms, then that would be a sign your body is sensitive to that food. It's not digesting it well, and you'd want to eliminate it. So again, that's really the 5-step process for following an elimination diet. And you can really do this with a whole number of foods. You can do it with gluten-containing foods, pasteurized dairy, corn, peanuts, eggs. I mean, all the things that we talked about, you can do it with to kind of see how your body responds when you take these foods out and then when you add them back in. Again, a minimum of a week, but I really like to see a month, where you come off of the food for a month and then you add it back in, and you just add it back in for one day. So it could be 1 meal, 2 meals, 3 meals, as much as you want that one day. And then you chart over the next 3 to 4 days how you're responding to that food, and how you're responding in your skin, right? Do you have more acne or eczema? Your brain, your energy levels, your sleep at night, your digestive health, all those different things, all the major quality of life measures, the way that we kind of feel and experience our body. You want to measure those and observe for changes. So that's really the key. Okay, low stomach acid. I know I mentioned this. Well, low stomach acid, again, is not going to allow us to be able to break down protein well. It's also not going to be able to facilitate the right production of bile from the liver and gallbladder, and the right production of pancreatic enzymes. Therefore, we're going to end up with protein and mineral deficiencies, which are going to cause inflammation and acidity. And then we're not going to be able to absorb nutrients to be able to produce stomach acid. And it's just this vicious cycle that causes a lot of problems. So again, one thing that really helps is adding in good herbs. So a lot of good carminative herbs. And these carminatives are any herb that promotes digestion, relieves cramps and gas, and increases appetite. It's often aromatic. That means we smell it. It should smell good, like cinnamon, ginger. They have distinct smells. Peppermint or mint in general, oregano, basil, thyme, lemon, right? These are all carminative herbs. Turmeric is another one. There's so many, nutmeg, clove. These things are all really good for your digestive tract. They smell good. They taste good. I'm thinking of onions and garlic. Those things count as well. These things can all really, really help with stomach acid production and overall digestion. So add these in to help. And you can do it with teas. You can do it with essential oils. You could do it with the actual dried herb or the fresh herb. Any one of those ways, or powders, right? Powders like turmeric, powdered turmeric. Any one of those ways works great. So just get more of these herbs into your diet. Ginger tea is probably the best thing for supporting stomach acid production, particularly ginger tea with a lemon in it, because lemon or lime with ginger is perfect for boosting up stomach acid. And you can also see in this picture, you've got a little mint there as well, a little peppermint leaf. And so, which is also really good for stomach acid. So awesome for reducing inflammation in the body, improving digestive juices, helping reduce gas. So a great thing to be drinking on a regular basis. Ginger tea, using more ginger, lemon, using more peppermint can really help you not only with your digestive health, but also with all these other things, preventing against cancer and reducing pain in your body, migraines, improving nerve function, all different types of aspects. So drink more ginger tea, consume more magnesium-rich foods. That's your dark green leafy vegetables, your grass-fed dairy, avocados, pumpkin seeds, getting a lot of good salt. I like pink salt, like Himalayan sea salt, good nuts if you're able to tolerate them. So things like almonds, Brazil nuts, pecans, macadamia nuts, walnuts. These are really good, rich in magnesium. Dark chocolate. So you can do dark chocolate or raw cacao, a very good magnesium source. And so is coffee. You can do things like bulletproof coffee, or, basically, just a ketogenic coffee where you've got good fats like grass-fed butter in there and coconut oil or MCT oil or something like that. Really, really good for magnesium and good for stimulating the bowels as well. Sea vegetables, so dulse, kelp, let's see, I'm forgetting some of them, but sea vegetables in general, just awesome for magnesium, rich in minerals, really good for the body. I love sprouts. My wife and I, we eat a lot of sprouts, so broccoli sprouts, alfalfa sprouts, kale sprouts, really good, super nutrient rich, rich in enzymes, really good to add to salads. Wild caught fish, another great magnesium source. I like wild caught sockeye salmon, sardines. Those are really good. So low on the food chain, as fresh as possible, wild caught fish, really good. So get more of these foods in your diet on a regular basis so you get more magnesium. And all of these have way more than just magnesium. They have a lot of B vitamins. They've got a lot of trace minerals in them. So these are some of the best foods for your digestive health. And then you also want to make sure that you're impacting your gut microbes. Now, the carminative herbs and the foods I just mentioned will all help benefit your gut microbiome. And your microbiome is so important for your immune system, your metabolism, your nutrients. I mean, we know that good bacteria helps break down toxins in our gut and helps produce B vitamins. It produces organic acids. It helps create a good environment for digestive health, helps stimulate the production of stomach acid and pancreatic enzymes. So we definitely want that. Also very important for brain. You can see that autism, right? So brain inflammation, controlling the inflammation in the brain. We know that when the gut microbiome is off, it's what we call a dysbiosis or bad bacterial balance. It increases inflammation in the gut and throughout the body, as well as the brain, impacting your quality of life. So get good bacteria in. The probiotics that we use Prescript Assist as well as ProbioCharge. And I teach my clients to rotate these, where you do 1 to 3 months on one and then 1 to 3 months on the other. So that way you are getting a wide diversity of species and you're not creating a monoculture. So Prescript Assist has 29 strains of soil-based organisms, which is basically some of the best. They're called spore-forming organisms, some of the best at helping repair the gut and helping to reduce toxic waste in the gut, getting rid of pesticides and herbicides and different things like that, and yeast overgrowth. And then the ProbioCharge has the most clinically studied strains of bacteria: Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus plantarum, which is an amazing bacteria, as well as Bifidobacterium longus and Bifidobacterium, longum, and I can't remember the other one, but another Bifidobacterium, all really important for the production of short chain fatty acids like butyrate, which reduces inflammation throughout the body and stimulates bowel motility. You will notice, you start using these, you'll notice a change in your digestive health and your ability to poop more regularly, right? To have good bowel tone, and just overall your ability to reduce gas, bloating, and other digestive issues. So get good probiotics in your system. Enzymes can be really helpful. This is the enzyme I use especially when somebody's struggling to digest carbohydrates, okay, like cruciferous vegetables. If you're noticing a lot of gas when you consume cruciferous vegetables, it's a sign you're not producing enough enzymes. So digestive enzymes, pancreatic enzymes. So I use this Super D-zyme, really, really good for helping you break down and digest vegetables more effectively. It will help a little bit with proteins, and particularly with legumes like beans or lentils and stuff like that. So this can be really helpful. Taking a few enzymes, about 2 caps per meal, can really, really help with overall digestion and reducing gas. And then just as an overall mechanism, taking a good, really high quality protein powder, so you get good amino acids that are easy to absorb into your system. And the cool thing about the gut healing protein is it's got a ton of these herbs we talked about, like really clinical doses of curcumin, which is the active ingredient in turmeric, as well as ginger in there and MSM and dandelion and all kinds of stuff. It actually is a full phase 1 through 3 liver detox system, helps clean the gallbladder, the liver, the gut, helps pull junk out of the system. And it's got really high quality pea protein that has the lectins removed and branched chain amino acids in there, a lot of leucine to help stimulate muscle development and help you burn fat. So this is a great protein powder if you're dealing with digestive issues, to do the gut healing protein to help really create the right environment for your gut. So I can go on and on about different supplements, but you guys, this is the basics to get started with, and you'll see a big difference. You add in even just one of the 3 I showed you, the probiotics, the enzymes, the gut healing protein, you will notice a difference in your gas. You add in all 3, I think you'll notice a significant difference. If you're not, for some reason, there are some serious issues, and that's where myself and my functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, Haley, come in. We can really do the right testing, the right functional medicine tests to figure out exactly what's going on in your body. Do you have an infection? Is your body not producing stomach acid? What's going on there? And then really diving in and getting to the root cause and correcting it naturally with nutrition, with various supplements and various strategies. So check that out. If you do want to work with us, you can email Haley at nutrition@drjockers.com. That's nutrition@drjockers.com. We'd love to work with you and help you overcome your digestive issues or any other health goals that you may have. I hope you guys really got a lot of value out of today's training, and be sure to join us for future trainings right here on our YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe today. God bless you guys. Bye.